my name is Holly. I'm the lab supervisor right now at West Coast General. I'm going to show you this mic and all the differences of this mic. So you have an on button, on and off to turn on the light. You have the light, like I guess the sensor of the light, so it brings it up into like brightness versus not brightness. You have a condenser with your diaphragm. Sorry, condenser of the diaphragm. Your objectives, so you have a 10 and a 40. And these are also objectives, so your islands. These are times 10 and then to 10 and then to 40. So it's 10 times 10 and then 10 times 40. You have a coarse focus and a fine focus. So when you have the slide on there, you want to focus. So you can use the 10 is what we focus first, and you can use the coarse focus because it moves the stage quite nicely, and then the fine focus you can't see it move. So what you want to do is you want to bring it all the way up, and then you want to start bringing it down slowly until you start seeing cells. And once you see the cells, you use the fine focus just to focus it, and then you take the diaphragm and you close it. That will make it so that you see a little round circle with just light in it, and then you're going to want to focus. It's like an octagon kind of shape, so you want to focus it so that the edges of that octagon or that shape is got crisp edges, and then you're going to open up your diaphragm right till it goes to just to the edges of your field, and that's what you do for color illumination. That's what this is right here.
And so that's to set it up for viewing.
For viewing, yeah. Because what the whole idea of Kohler is that you're concentrating the light on what you're seeing, so that you have a crisp image. Because if you don't have that, then the light is reflected everywhere, so you don't actually get a really good image. So what Kohler is that we're focusing that light where we're looking.
And do you have to use that every time before you do it, or
it's recommended to do it so that you can have so you have the best possible light to see your image.
Okay.
But you don't have to do it. But we do it in the lab. That's what we do when we look at any of our blood smears. We always set our mic to Kohler illumination, and that's what this is right here.
Okay, great.
So what I was saying, so if you take that diaphragm all the way down, this is what you're going to see, and you're going to want to make sure that the edges of the white is nice and crisp. So this is the condenser. This right here.
Oh, the table that brings it up and down.
Yes.
Okay.
So till you see the crisp edges along the sides, and then you bring it open. So yeah, did you get that? Yeah. So this whole thing is the condenser, and it's got a knob on the side here. If you guys want to see, because it's not on this side.
Yeah, I know. I played with it.
Have you? Okay. You shouldn't have to play with these. These little screws are to center this, but once it's centered, you just leave it.
Okay.
We don't play with them ever.
Okay.
So
I'll leave them alone.
Yeah, and it's beautiful right now. It's nicely centered, so you just don't touch the silver ones.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's where he goes, open the field until it's right to the edges, and you just do it on your 10. So because when you bring it down to your 40, so once you have it all focused, and before you take it down to your 40, you want to make sure you're focused on 10, or you'll have a harder time to find your image on 40.
So we're just looking for Fernie's. What we were told before is that we would be able to just see it on 10, but we have the 40 just in case. Does that sound correct to you?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, if you don't use the 40, you don't have to. So the 40 just makes it so that you can see it a little bit closer.
Yeah. Okay.
So but if you do that, you just move this, and this is when you want to use the fine focus. So this one right here. Because if you use the coarse focus, now you don't have as much control. Right. And then that you can break the slide really easily. Yeah. And you don't want to break the slide, because if you break the slide on the ocular, it'll scratch it.
Yeah. So, and we need a new slide from the patient.
Yeah. Oh, you might need a new one of these. So.
Yeah. Just leave it on 10.
Just leave it on 10. There you go. So so the light. So if you want to bring it brighter, you can always bring up the light, or you can bring it down and make it a little darker. And that's usually just preference on how much you want the light shining behind it. So.
Did you never do
Yeah.
that?
And then the stage moves like this, and then like this. And then you can move around the field, what you're looking for.
And do you guys have a certain pattern that you go from one side of the slide to the other, or it's just up and down kind of thing, looking for?
Yep, we do.
Because the ferning is sometimes tricky to find.
Okay, so what I do, and that's how I set this up, is that I set it up so that the slide is always facing this way. And I start on this edge, on the feathered edge, and then I go down to the edge, over. So like that,
Just up and down,
and then like this.
mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's easier when I'm actually looking down it because I can see myself move it. And then so forth. And just go in that like little circular motion with that. So. And so you're always getting every field as well. If you're having a hard time finding it, if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
So.
I know with the ferning's a big thing about is waiting for it to dry.
Okay, yeah.
So waiting for it, at, like they said, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes to make sure that it's actually dried. So then you'll actually be able to see more of the burning pattern. If you look sometimes right away, it's not there. It takes a little bit for the,
So with that,
Dry,
do you guys put cover slips on them or not?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to, but we
Yeah.
don't. You
Because
don't
that's
cover
one of the
slips
things
on?
you can, but when it's dry, it's easier to see, or is it just cover slipped and it's easier to see, or you're just.
Once it's
It's
dry, we're able to see it. We don't use
If
cover
you put
slips.
a cover
but
slip
we
on
have
wet,
them
then
there.
you don't see it better?
Well, yeah, because it flattens it so that you can see it. Because the thing with having it wet is that you're seeing a different levels of it, of the
Yeah.
water. Because if you think about a microscope, you're looking at things at such a low, at such a microscopic level
Yeah.
that even water you have like you can see like depth into water.
Right.
So but when you put the cover slip on, it flattens everything out into a monolayer.
Is it going to wreck the frame pattern though?
I don't know. That's the only question.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never actually had to look for that
Use it,
before, so I'm
yeah.
not entirely sure.
That, yeah, it may.
Because it might wreck the ferning
Yes.
pattern.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it's best to wait for it to dry and then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
totally.
Yeah,
I used
okay.
a cover
Yeah.
slip before with ferning, but like, I don't know, it didn't work.
Well, now I
So
kind
that's
of need to
probably
look
what I
into
did
it.
It's a good experiment to put one on that is dry. Like I'll put one on that's a cover slipped versus a non-cover slipped, and see if there's any difference.
Yeah.
Because the cover slip will make it so that you can see it right away.
Oh.
I was always taught to do the ferning without a cover slip and to let it dry before looking at it. I'm on to like find out this microscope because it's not like one I've used before. But for looking for ferning and amniotic fluid specifically, it was always no cover slip, let it dry.
Yeah.
That was what I
And
had the
that might be
direction
that might
with
be what it
before.
has to be. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably
Because
the
this
way
is
it has to be.
this is a normal everyday old microscope. It's older, like it's probably about 20 years old, but it's still just as good as any of the microscopes we have. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So when do you change the focus up top?
You don't. You usually it's you just move it, but it should be in focus. Like these come out to be cleaned, but they should. You shouldn't have to change them very often, or you shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to move them. I remember doing it in school, like learning all that,
Yeah.
and I never changed them in the lab. So
Okay.
they should be in focus. You're focusing down here more than anything.
Okay.
So.
And Holly, do you mind quickly talking about using the little air gun to blow away anything and the lens paper?
So you want to make sure that all your whatever dust and everything is gone. So you want to make sure that's all out of here, like all in this area here. And you want to make sure that it is anywhere where the dust could get into and also onto your objectives too. So just making sure that all the condenser and everything, any little bits and pieces are cleaned out. You should have to, this is really warm now. I don't think it's maybe because it's warm in here.
Yeah, turn the heat down.
Yeah.
Turn it down.
I think that light's still on over here.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah.
Does
that's
this,
really
does this
low.
get turned off? Because it's very warm. Has it been on for a while?
I turned it on when I walked in.
Okay.
But that was like a.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is making sure that it's off.
Yeah.
Because, and you might want to unplug it while it's off.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really warm.
Yeah.
And sometimes with older equipment, sometimes it, like I know we have an older inverted microscope in Nanaimo that has to be unplugged as well. So once we're done using it, it might be just because of how hot it, because it's really warm. It's not usually this, should be this warm.
Oh, okay.
So the other thing with it, and not just like, just turning it off and unplugging it, and then just only plug it in when you need it.
Okay.
With the lens paper, is you don't have any oil on these, so that's good because you don't want to go from objectives that are non-oil to oil, or sorry, oil to non-oil. These ones are both non-oil, so you just want to clean them, and you just have to be dry. You don't need water. If you want to do a more thorough clean, you can use the alcohol prep wipes and dry them and wash them that way. And that's if you see anything on it. And the same goes for this right here. You want to clean that, and then clean off any dust in here. This is a filter on here as well. So
What's the thing on the bottom called again?
the diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
Yeah. Think of it as like, because this expands. This is expanding thing. So yeah,
Okay.
that's how I did it. There we go. So anything that has like glass, you can use this with, and you can use alcohol prep wipes to wipe it as well. So, but making sure that you just use just wipe it like this,
Right.
because you don't want any scratches or anything on there. And only use lens paper. Don't use any of your
Paper towel.
paper towel or your Kleenex, because you can scratch the lenses really easily.